I remember the day I first noticed a silver strand in my mother's hair. I was about 13, and I recall how she gently brushed it aside with a smile, saying, "Each gray hair tells a story." Now that I'm older myself, I appreciate that phrase more than ever. Our hair can reflect our journey, and those silver streaks carry wisdom as well as memories. The funny thing is, while many of us welcome the wisdom and stories of a full life, we still want to take good care of our hair so it stays healthy and suits who we are today. That's why I think it's worth talking about a few things we might be doing that aren't quite right for our hair as we get older. I've seen enough friends, sisters, aunts, and mentors fall into these same patterns, and each time I wish I could gently remind them of what I learned over the years. It's not about chasing youth or being someone we're not. It's about giving our hair the kindness it deserves so it can reflect our strong, confident selves. Before we get further, I'd like to know where you're joining us from. And if you get any value from these videos, a like and a subscribe would mean a lot. It helps me reach folks who might need this sort of gentle reminder, and I appreciate that support more than I can express. So let's talk about hair and how we can avoid some mistakes that sneak up on us after we turn 60. The first mistake I see is when we stop checking in with how our hair has changed. By the time we reach 60 or beyond, our hair can become thinner or drier. Maybe it no longer holds its shape the way it used to, or it feels more fragile than ever. Sometimes we keep using the same shampoo or styling products that worked a decade or two ago, expecting them to magically keep our hair looking fresh. It's a bit like wearing the same clothes we loved in our 20s and expecting them to fit the same way. Our hair, like the rest of us, evolves. Giving it what it needs now instead of sticking to old routines is a small adjustment that can make a big difference. It might mean switching to a gentle shampoo designed for thinner hair, or maybe using a conditioner that helps lock in moisture. These small steps can help your hair stay strong and feel less brittle. Another mistake that often flies under the radar is neglecting your scalp. We don't always see our scalp, but it's just as important as the skin on the rest of our body. Some of us shampoo too often. Others almost forget to rinse thoroughly. Maybe we use products that leave behind residue, causing dryness or even mild irritation. When your scalp isn't well cared for, your hair can't flourish. Think of it like a garden. If the soil isn't in good shape, the flowers won't bloom the way you want them to. Giving your scalp a gentle massage when you wash your hair is a small but powerful way to boost blood flow and keep things healthy. It takes only a minute or two in the shower, and over time, it can lead to hair that feels and looks better. Next is a mistake I've been guilty of myself, trying the same haircut or hairstyle for decades. I understand the comfort of a familiar style. You go to the salon, and the stylist already knows what you want. It's easy, but it might not be doing you any favors if your hair texture has changed. Some people stay loyal to a haircut that was perfect back in the day, not realizing their face shape or overall style has evolved. We can't deny that gravity and time change the way our features appear. A style that suited you at 40 might not be as flattering now. That doesn't mean you have to do something drastic like chopping everything off, unless you want to. Sometimes a few subtle changes, like adding layers or playing with length, can lighten the look around your face and bring out your features in a fresh way. It's about feeling comfortable, but also embracing the new chapter you're in. Color can be another tricky area. Some of us color our hair to cover gray. Others might do it just for fun. The mistake happens when we pick colors that are too dark or harsh. Hair that's too dark can wash out your complexion, making you look tired. It's tempting to hold on to the color you had in your youth, but a shade or two lighter can work wonders. It's sort of like choosing a softer light for your room instead of a harsh spotlight. It can highlight your features more gently and keep you looking bright and rested. If you've been coloring your hair at home, consider getting advice from a stylist who understands how tone and highlights can soften the look. There's no single rule that fits everyone, but finding that sweet spot where your color complements your skin tone can make you feel more at ease with your reflection in the mirror. Then there's the opposite, forgetting to color at all when you really want to. Maybe you're not ready to embrace a full head of silver, yet you tell yourself you're too old to bother with color. I've heard that so many times, and it always makes me sad. If you long for a different shade, whether it's auburn, honey blonde, or a subtle brown, there's no harm in exploring your options. It doesn't matter what age you are. What matters is how you feel. Sometimes a careful coloring technique, like a blend of highlights and lowlights, can give you exactly the look you want without making you feel like you're hiding your age. Instead, you're just enhancing what you already have. There's no shame in that. The point is, don't let age be the reason you deny yourself a little self-expression. Let's talk about styling tools. It's so easy to rely on our hair dryer, curling iron, or flat iron every day, especially if that's how we've been styling our hair for years. But overusing heat tools is a mistake that can really hurt mature hair. Once your hair is weaker or drier, daily blasts of high heat can cause breakage, split ends, and dullness. It doesn't mean you have to toss out your favorite tools altogether. Consider lowering the heat setting. Use a heat protectant product or let your hair air dry a bit before you style. Maybe skip heat styling a couple of days a week. Little changes can go a long way in preserving the overall health of your hair, allowing you to still enjoy the styles you love without causing more damage than necessary. Another subtle error is using products that are too heavy or too light. Sometimes, in an attempt to control frizz or dryness, we load up on thick creams and serums that weigh our hair down. Other times, we might pick products that are too light, leaving our hair feeling parched. It can be trial and error, but it helps to read labels and talk to a trusted stylist about what you really need. Consider the thickness of your hair, how dry it gets, and if it tends to break easily. Every small detail matters. If you pick the right product for your hair type, you'll notice more bounce and a healthier shine without feeling like you have a ton of product buildup. A big mistake, and one that breaks my heart, is not trimming often enough. Many of us think that if we let our hair grow, maybe it'll look fuller. In reality, split ends can travel upward, causing even more damage. A trim every 6 to 8 weeks can keep ends tidy and encourage healthier growth. It doesn't have to be a big chop. It's just a small refresh, a way to keep your hair in the best shape it can be. You might also find that a neat trim can give your hairstyle some life, even if you're aiming for more length overall. One issue I notice is that some of us forget about hair masks or deep conditioning once in a while. Your hair is like the rest of your body. It needs moisture and nutrients. A weekly or bi-weekly deep conditioning treatment can help replenish lost moisture and reduce breakage. You can do it at home or at a salon, but consistency is the key. Taking this time for yourself is also a nice ritual. Think of it like a mini spa moment. You can sit back, maybe read a book, or just relax, knowing you're giving your hair a treat. Afterward, it'll feel softer and look healthier, and you might find yourself smiling a little bigger when you see the shine in the mirror. There's something that goes hand in hand with hair care, and that's overall health. Sometimes we place all our focus on external fixes and forget that strong hair starts inside. Eating well, staying hydrated, and keeping an eye on our nutrition can play a huge role in how our hair looks. Lack of certain vitamins and minerals can make hair look dull or speed up thinning. Some of us might not get all the nutrients we need through food alone, so a conversation with a doctor or nutritionist about supplements might be worth it. It's not just about hair, it's about feeling good overall. When your body gets the nutrients it needs, it has an easier time growing healthier hair. In all of these things, I want to stress that there's no perfect way to care for your hair. Each of us has different textures, different needs, and different goals. The most important thing is to stay curious, ask questions, try new products if your current ones aren't working, and be open to the idea that what worked a decade ago might not be your best choice now. Embracing where you are in life doesn't mean giving up on the little joys of self-care. If anything, it's a great time to lean into them. There's real value in learning and relearning how to look after yourself as time goes by. I also think it's helpful to remember that hair care should be a joyful practice, not a chore. If you find yourself dreading the process, maybe you're trying to meet unrealistic expectations. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for healthy, happy hair that complements who you are. Be gentle with your styling, and choose methods and products that work for your lifestyle. If you love coloring, go for it. If you want to go all gray, embrace it. If you prefer shorter hair that's easy to maintain, you have every right to snip away. This time in life is precious, and you deserve to enjoy the look that makes you feel like yourself. As we draw to a close, remember that our hair doesn't define who we are. It's an accessory to the life we've led and continue to lead. The reason I'm sharing these common mistakes is simply because I've seen many of us fall into the same old patterns, even when we want something fresh and healthy. It's never too late to change a few habits, and notice how it can lift your mood and confidence. Your hair can reflect your years of experience without feeling dull or lifeless. Whether it's embracing a new haircut, treating your scalp more kindly, or exploring a different shade of color, small shifts can bring a sense of renewal. I hope something in this talk has sparked your interest, or at least made you pause and think about what you might try next. Maybe you'll get that trim you've been putting off, or you'll swap out a product that's been weighing your hair down. If nothing else, I hope you'll remember that aging doesn't mean you stop caring about these small but meaningful details. They can make daily life brighter, and you deserve that brightness. Thank you for joining me on this little journey, and I'd love to see you again. Take the lessons that resonate, leave the rest behind, and always remember that a life well lived is something to be proud of, gray hairs and all. If this chat has been a help, I appreciate your support in any way you choose to show it, whether that's a like, a comment, or sharing your own hair stories in the future. You are the reason I keep sharing these bits of wisdom, so thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.